Greetings, boils and ghouls, goblins and ghosts. You're tuning into Too Ghoul for School, the podcast, a death-style podcast for the morbidly inclined. Class is in session. I'm your ghoulish hostess, Jocelyn Wen, aka Glamour Ghoul Beauty School. I'm an actress, I have my BA in psychology, and I'm a purveyor of all things dark and spooky. Happy November, or Samhain, since Samhain actually does translate to November or Seedfall, if you remember from episode 1. We just had Halloween this past week, Halloween Monday. It was preceded by Halloween weekend, or Halloweekend. And I don't know about you, but I get something that I call post-spooky season blues, or post-spooky season booze. Sorry, I had to do it. Please let me know if you also get post-spooky season blues or booze. Be nice to know that I'm not alone on that one. I think I'm not alone on that one. In fact, this week's episode, I am going to give you a few tips that I like to use to combat the come down that is November from Halloween, basically. To be honest, I already started feeling a little bit of this spooky season come down when I went to, it was the Dollar Tree. I literally went there 2 days before Halloween to acquire a few more supplies for our Halloween party on Sunday with my friends. And there was like nothing Halloween. Like everything was Christmas already. And it just made me really sad because it just felt like this is like the spookiest time that we're approaching, and it was like it had already passed. Another tip, if you're sad or down that spooky season is over, is to embrace being spooky year-round. Don't give a shit about what other people think about you being spooky full-time. Mama said it was okay. Not me. This mama. And this mama. And this mama. They all say it's okay. They're spooky all the time. Another quick tip. Spirit Halloween has a lot of their stuff on clearance, which is exciting. I usually don't even make a trip to Spirit Halloween ever before Halloween. Their stuff's cool, but not amazing quality for how much they charge. So I wait till like the day after or 2 days after. They're usually still around trying to get rid of that season's stock. They have a good, I want to say 20 to even 60% off stuff. I definitely use it as a time to stock up on fishnets because they generally have a ton. And then any other houseware, decor. And you can find some good home goods there. And yeah, that's mostly what I'm there for. I'm there for my spooky year-round crap. Mugs, glasses, kitchen towels. I have way too many spooky kitchen towels, but I love them. I'm just, always looking for ways to make the mundanity of life a little more fun. Doing dishes is not my favorite thing. I don't think it's most people's favorite thing. But I did get one of those Scrub Daddies I got the set. I got the Scrub Daddy Frankenstein's monster with the Scrub Daddy ghosty and the jack-o'-lantern. And it just makes me that much more likely that I'll actually pick up a sponge and do some dishes. It's like, oh, you're a delightful little Frankenstein's monster. Let's try to get this pile of dishes under control. Something that is on Netflix right now that has really eased my spooky season blues, post-spooky season blues, is Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. It's an anthology series, and I am loving it. I love the intro, which always has Guillermo del Toro presenting that episode's story. It has a very Hitchcock Presents feel to it, the intro with Guillermo del Toro. and I love that reference. The title sequence for Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities is pretty badass. It has that kind of Game of Thrones animation or Westworld, even I want to say American Horror Story kind of feel, where it's just super trippy, cool. Wow. My suction mirror just fell down. Not the first time that's happened. Didn't think it would happen during a recording, though. See, it's still spooky season, ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls. Oh, man. There's a lot of Lovecraftian tales, at least two that we've noticed. And there's really awesome old aesthetic, which I mentioned really liking when we went to Halloween Horror Nights, and they had that Hollywood Horror Hotel. Oh no, it was the Universal Horror Hotel. It's so well done and has everything that I want out of like a spooky series. I think there's like a good 8 episodes, each one with a different story, and they've been pretty cool so far. It seems like every story takes place in kind of the same universe. So I'm excited to see how, if everything is connected by the finale. Tonight we just watched both episodes that were originally written by H.P. Lovecraft. The first one was Pickman's Model, and then the second episode was called The Dreams in the Witch's House. In the first episode, Guillermo del Toro goes to explain how back in the Victorian era, when travel was just kind of starting to be a common thing. What is that sound? It's the rain. It's picking up. Yeah, I'm in LA. It like never rains, and if it does, it's like a drizzle for like 5 minutes. So I was like, what? Like the static started going up on my headphones a little bit, but it was picking up. The mic was picking up the rain, and I was like, what's happening? But yeah, he explains kind of the reasoning for the title of the show. It's kind of like each of the segments are a different chamber of his Cabinet of Curiosities, which originally in the Victorian era, people would have kind of these oddities and different trinkets from around the world, because it was only just travel, that is, was only just starting to become accessible to people, and it still was mostly only accessible to the upper class. And yeah, you would display your cool wares and findings in these kind of curio cabinets, which I hope to acquire one day. Yeah, an apothecary curio cabinet with oddities. Listening to spooky tunes also helps me get out of that post-Halloween season funk. So I have quite a few playlists on Spotify that I've curated for myself, but I will share with you in the description and show notes for your listening pleasure. One of the first things I like to remind myself post-Halloween is that we're still going into a very spooky time, which is winter. A lot of coziness, just snuggling in. You can watch spooky shows, read spooky stories. I like to extend my spooky season festivities into what I call Spooky Christmas. As you can imagine, it's mostly including a lot of aesthetic from Nightmare Before Christmas and listening to the soundtrack. I really love just like listening to Making Christmas like on repeat. It makes my soul happy because it's like these horrible monsters in Halloween Town are trying to do Christmas. I think it's very endearing, like their enthusiasm for it, but at the same time it's like horrible, and you know that all the normie kids and parents are gonna be very upset when they come around to deliver the presents, or when Jack Skellington comes around to deliver the presents. Like, you know, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I'll just find any which way I can to make Christmas a little bit more macabre. This includes reading ghost stories, as in the Victorian era, it was popular to tell spooky stories at Christmas around a fire. Hence why we have A Christmas Carol. it's a ghost story. So as we get closer to the holidays, I'm going to be doing a few episodes on some Victorian ghost stories from a really awesome book set that my husband got me. It's still very spooky. I mean, winter's coming. It's a spooky time. I'm definitely going to be doing one of my other tips, which is to do some spooky Christmas crafts. So, for example, when we were at Michael's, and again, this was like maybe 2 weeks before Halloween, and I just saw like everything Christmas, and I was already getting a little bit bummed out. And my husband was like, well, look at these cool nutcrackers. We can like paint them and make them spooky. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do that. That's another craft I'll be doing in addition to a spooky wreath. So you can look out for that. If spooky Christmas is to your liking, you might also consider incorporating Yule as a part of your Christmas, winter celebrations. Yule, like Samhain, is another one of the 8 witches' Sabbats. Yule is celebrated on the winter solstice, which is near around December 21st, 22nd, which means that the night will be the longest of the year and the day the shortest. Similarly to how Samhain has deepened my appreciation for Halloween, it just connects you with nature and yourself and kind of a more primal aspect of your humanity. It's a lot of fun and again just brings a deeper, greater meaning to the holiday and the season. It's a good time to do some witchcraft spells, some introspection. And my last tip for you to get through this little down period while we wait for spooky Christmas to ramp up is to continue listening to Too Cool for School, the podcast. I have a lot of exciting episodes coming up. I'm going to do a video on October Flame so we can just live in that greatness. I also went to Son of Monster Palooza in October, and they have 2 basically horror conventions. I gotta make sure I enunciate that. Horror, not horror conventions like my coworkers thought I was telling them I was going to. So Monster Palooza, they have Son of Monster Palooza as kind of a sequel to Monster Palooza, which I believe happens more in like the summer. I'll double check that for you. And then Son of Monster Palooza, yes, is in the fall. Really fun, awesome vendors. I'm going to show you guys some of that. And then we're going to have an episode on cryptids, which my friend Bex, who valiantly went to the front of the line with me in the Halloween Horror Nights mazes, will be joining us. And then, of course, we're going to cover spooky Christmas, and we're going to talk about Yule. We're also going to talk about Krampus. I'll see if I can convince my husband to be a guest. He's shy, but he loves Krampus. Really, he doesn't have a good excuse. He lives with me, so probably going to corner him and make him sit and talk about Krampus. It's cool. We have that kind of relationship. Corner each other and either make the other one listen to a topic we're really interested in. So this time I'll just corner him and make him talk about something he really likes on camera, which is his favorite. I'm totally kidding. He hates that. Well, that covers it for this week's episode. Please comment, share, like, subscribe. I, again, really want to hear if you also experience the post-spooky season booze, and what you do to combat that. Thanks for sitting for a spell. Stay spooky, boys and ghouls, goblins and ghosts. Till next time. Aw, doo-doos. That's my puppy. That's my spooky girl. Oh, my little bat. My nose got so itchy. Stay spooky, boys and ghouls, goblins, blah, blah, blah.